Have you ever set a big goal for yourself and felt overwhelmed just thinking about how far away it seemed? Like maybe you want to run a marathon, start a business, or even write a book, but the idea of actually doing it feels like climbing a mountain without a clear path. It's totally normal to feel that way, but here's the thing. Achieving big goals is easier than you think, and I'm going to show you how to break it down into simple, actionable steps. Now I get it, the bigger the goal, the more intimidating it feels. You might look at someone who's already achieved their dream and think, how did they get there? But here's a little secret. Those successful people didn't just magically land at the top. They took it one step at a time, and you can do the same. So today, let's shift our focus from feeling stuck to realizing that those big dreams you have are totally within reach. I'm going to walk you through a process that will make any goal feel less like an impossible task and more like a series of manageable steps. In fact, I'll share with you 3 key ideas that will help you transform your big, scary dreams into something that feels not just doable, but exciting. Sound good? Great. Let's dive in. The first step is something I call the break it down technique. It sounds simple, but it's something that many of us overlook. When we look at a huge goal, like building a business or writing a book, it can feel so overwhelming that we don't even know where to start. But here's the trick. Divide your big goal into smaller, bite-sized tasks. Instead of thinking about the marathon as running 26.2 miles, think of it as running 1 mile a day, every day. Then break that even further into just get out the door and start running. Suddenly, it doesn't seem so impossible, right? When you break things down, they become less about the massive end result and more about the small, consistent actions you can take. And consistency, not perfection, is the key to success. If you take small steps every day, no matter how tiny, you'll look back and be amazed at how much progress you've made. It's not about rushing the process, it's about showing up and taking the next step. So the first thing I want you to do right now is to think of a big goal that you've been putting off. Got it? Now break it down. What's the very first, smallest step you can take toward that goal today? I'm talking about something so small it feels silly, like writing just 1 sentence of that book or setting up the website for your business. But that's the point. It's about getting started, even if it feels insignificant at the moment. Now that you've broken down your big goal into smaller, manageable pieces, it's time to focus on consistency. If you've ever tried to accomplish something big, you know that it's not about how fast you go, but about how consistently you show up. So how do you stay on track when motivation fades or life just gets in the way? Here's the thing, you don't need to be motivated every single day to succeed. If you wait for motivation to strike before you take action, you might find yourself stuck in a never-ending cycle of procrastination. The secret? Create habits. When you make the actions that lead to your goal a part of your daily routine, they start to become automatic. Think of it this way. When you first learned how to brush your teeth, it wasn't something you did because you were motivated. It was something you did because it was part of your routine. Over time, it became second nature. Achieving big goals is no different. If you build habits around the actions that will get you closer to your dreams, eventually it won't feel like work. It'll just be something you do. One of the best ways to make this work is by using the 2-minute rule. This is something that works wonders when you're feeling unmotivated or overwhelmed. The idea is simple. Commit to doing the task for just 2 minutes. So if you're writing a book, commit to writing for 2 minutes. If you're working on a business plan, commit to 2 minutes of research. The point isn't to finish the whole task in 2 minutes. Although you might surprise yourself and get into a flow state, it's just about showing up and starting. You see, the hardest part of achieving any big goal is starting. Once you begin, even if it's for just 2 minutes, you've broken the ice, and it becomes easier to keep going. Over time, these tiny moments add up to something much bigger than you might expect. And just like that, you'll be building momentum. Let's be honest, we've all had those days where we just don't feel like doing anything. But if you commit to just a tiny action, you'll often find that you're able to keep going far beyond the 2-minute mark. And if you don't, that's perfectly fine too. The key is to show up, even when it feels like the last thing you want to do. So, take a second and think about your big goal again. Can you commit to just 2 minutes of work on it today? It could be something small like reading an article related to your goal, writing down a few ideas, or brainstorming what you want to accomplish this week. Start small, keep it simple, and make it part of your daily routine. Before you know it, those 2 minutes will turn into hours of progress. Now that you've broken down your goals and created habits that help you stay consistent, there's one more important aspect to talk about: overcoming setbacks. Let's face it, no matter how well you plan, there will always be bumps in the road. You'll encounter obstacles, face unexpected challenges, and have days where you feel like nothing is going right. That's normal, and it's part of the process. The key to turning setbacks into successes lies in how you respond to them. One of the biggest mistakes people make when things don't go according to plan is quitting. It's easy to think, well, I failed, so maybe this just isn't for me. But here's the truth: failure isn't final. It's just feedback. Think about it this way. When you try something new, like learning how to ride a bike, you're bound to fall off a few times. But each time you fall, you don't give up. You get back on, make some adjustments, and keep going. The same principle applies to your big goals. The setbacks you face aren't signs that you should quit. They're simply opportunities to learn, grow, and adapt. This is where resilience becomes crucial. When things go wrong, instead of getting discouraged, try to see the situation as a chance to pivot. Maybe your original plan needs some tweaking, or maybe you need to develop new skills or strategies. The point is to keep moving forward no matter what. Every small step counts. And this brings us to another important mindset shift: embracing failure as part of the journey. Instead of avoiding failure, start seeing it as a tool that helps you grow. Every time something doesn't work out, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? When you reframe failure like this, it takes the pressure off. You'll realize that it's not about being perfect. It's about being persistent. A great example of this is Thomas Edison, who famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." He didn't give up after facing countless failures while inventing the light bulb. Instead, he viewed each failure as a lesson that brought him one step closer to his success. You can do the same. Every time you hit an obstacle, don't view it as a roadblock, but as part of your journey to success. Now, I know what you might be thinking. That's all great in theory, but how do I keep going when I feel completely burnt out or discouraged? This is where celebrating small wins becomes crucial. When you're focused on a big goal, it's easy to overlook the progress you've made. But celebrating those little victories, whether it's checking something off your to-do list, making a new connection, or even just showing up and doing the work, will keep you motivated and remind you that you are moving forward. So, as you work toward your dreams, don't forget to acknowledge how far you've come. Small wins lead to bigger wins, and those wins lead to momentum. The more you celebrate these victories, the more you'll find yourself staying on track, even when things get tough. Remember, success isn't about never failing, it's about never giving up. So when life throws you a curveball, take a deep breath, learn from it, adjust, and keep going. Your dreams are within reach, and you're on the path to making them a reality. And there you have it. You've broken down your goal, created habits, stayed consistent, and learned how to overcome obstacles along the way. Achieving your big goals isn't some far-off dream. It's all about taking small, consistent actions, learning from your setbacks, and keeping your eyes on the prize. As we wrap this up, I want you to take a moment to think about your biggest goal. What's one small step you can take today to move closer to it? Whatever it is, just get started. Remember, you don't need to do it all at once, but if you show up every day, you'll be amazed at how far you can go. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, and feel free to share your thoughts or experiences with us in the comments. I'd love to hear about the big goals you're working toward and the progress you're making. Also, be sure to subscribe for more videos that'll help you continue making progress toward your dreams. Keep moving forward, and as always, stay inspired. You've got this.